Hello and welcome back to another video on this channel. In today's devlog, I want to show you what I achieved last week while coding and improving my game. So let's don't waste any time and dive right into it. In my last video, I told you something about visual indicators, and I still find that this is a very important topic in game development, and that's why I think the current small changes are super important. For example, you need some impact when you do something within a game. In this case, it's a super duper small change, and this is this little hovering here. And when I click here, there's a super small animation which indicates that something is happening. Before that, you didn't get any feedback, and I think the player didn't even know if the action was actually executed. This leads me to the second change, and this is some action where the player cannot interact with its environment. For example, this island is not reachable. Of course, this is another problem where I need bridges or something like that, but that isn't the point. Now, when I click here to go here, there is a super small pop-up which indicates, hey, I cannot go there. And I think this is a nice feedback because the player needs this feedback to understand, okay, what is happening here and why doesn't my player move? These two little changes are really cool because these are visual indicators which the player needs and can use it to understand if the action is getting executed or not. And another small change is that some particles are rising on some of these resources. And now I want to show you some really cool implementation. You see it in the top right corner, there's something. Of course, the image still is blank, and this is a little slider. Of course, it's a bar which can represent any value. And this should be the health of the laser, because I think it's important for the game loop. Then you cannot infinitely collect resources, because then the game isn't fun. So the game plan is as follows. The player can collect some resources, but this takes some life from the laser. Of course, in this case, it's not that much, but it should raise a bit faster than the resource. But it should decrease much faster than the resource. Something like this. You hit the resource, but the laser health is getting down. And if it is 0, the unit stops collecting the resource. Of course, in this example, it's really hard. And in the game at the end, it shouldn't be that hard because it should be fun and not that grindy, I guess. But I think the idea is pretty cool because now with the resource you can, or you should at least, sell some of your resources to get some kind of coins or something like that, which you can use to upgrade your laser to make it refill faster or to increase the general health of this laser. And I think then you got a cool gameplay loop so that you can upgrade your laser with the resources you have to gather. And I think this is a pretty cool game loop which isn't that boring. It's just infinitely collect resources for what? Of course, the plan is to let the player collect all resources and make this also part of the game loop. So you have something like the Pokédex, you can collect all of these materials, all the resources. But I think this is a cool addition and makes the game a bit more fun because you have some kind of a challenge. We can also have a look at some resources on the grassland because they have not that much health. So let's try it on the tree, and of course it now is too fast on the right, that the decrease rate is way too fast or way too big. But I think you get the gist that this is something, if it's tweaked correctly, of course, can be much fun. We can have a little shot on that red one. We say, okay, the refill rate still is 1, but the max laser value is, for example, 5. And now I guess we can test this, and I think this is way more fun now because, okay, it refills at a proper time, and now we can just collect this resource. I think that's a pretty cool implementation, and I think we can work on this implementation, so this is getting fun. Yep, and that's it for this devlog. Because I'm not available this week, I cannot work on this game, so this is a pretty short devlog, or maybe it's as long as all the other devlogs. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you don't want to miss any updates, then please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, and we see us in the next video. Bye!